What up, Facebook? How's it going, guys and gals? So, tonight is Tuesday, if you're watching this live by chance. And tonight is the night that I take my son to his guitar lesson at Scottsdale Music Academy, the best music school in the state of Arizona. It's been voted and it's been the #1 for, I want to say, about 10 years now. So, hey, Dave Jackson. How's it going? So, before I get ahead of myself, hey, Bill. Hey, Cameron. Wow, a lot of people are starting to jump on now. So, here we are on Tuesday night. Before I get ahead of myself, there's one thing that I ask people who are watching, and that is, see these buttons down here? Let me know you're down here by smashing the hell out of that like button. Or if you're not the violent type, just kind of gently flick the love button. Leave a comment below. And if you're not in Arizona or in the Phoenix metro area, tell me what the weather's like. I'd love to hear what weather you're experiencing right now. Hey, Amy, how's it going? You know, Amy, this is for you. The video that Rich did for Peggy and Cole, through the roof. Amazing. And the one that he did for the national conference, I think, and I don't know, maybe we're a little biased here, but I think that video is hands down going to be the best. I don't see how anybody could make that video better than what Rich did. Yeah. And we got to get your story up there. You know, your guys' story is unbelievable. I mean, it is believable, but it's just amazing how incredibly inspiring it is. But anyway, to the point of tonight's tip of the week. Just a tip, just a bit. Sorry. So what I'd like to do is share some information. So I've been doing real estate investing part-time, really, because I still have a full-time job and I have a family. And so my time constraints for other priorities, it's a very real reason, or excuse, I should say. And when anybody's trying to do something or build something on their own, they can have a lot of quote-unquote, quote, legitimate excuses. The challenge that I put out to anybody and everybody who's building their own empire on the side is to turn whatever excuses you have into your reasons. I'm just going to leave that there and let that sink in. Turn your excuses into reasons. So here's some things that I've learned over the last 2 years and going into my 3rd year now. And that is, always use a title company when you're dealing with money and closing on deals. You don't let other people hold on to money and trust them. They may be great people. I'm not saying that they're not great people and trustworthy. I'm just saying, why would you open yourself up to that risk? It's kind of like my wife and I were having this discussion last night with our son, and because we were watching a TV show, which is a rare occurrence. I was passing through, and they were watching it, and then it came up about infidelity. And this person was working with a woman, and the long hours, and then he wasn't feeling loved at home. He was feeling dejected and all this stuff. And then he just kind of fell in love because they started working longer hours together. Then they started going to lunch at work together, just them two. And so what I brought to that conversation was, don't open yourself up to that risk. Why would you risk putting yourself to that kind of exposure? See what I did there? So just don't do it. Remain professional and don't put yourself in that kind of risk where you could lose something that you really cherish. So that goes with relationships. It also goes with real estate investing. So use title companies. Use title insurance. Don't do promissory notes. You're leaving yourself exposed to unnecessary risk. Get hazard insurance. If the lender is listed as a loss payee, you can do a deed in lieu of foreclosure and escrow. All of these things you can do when you're using a title company versus just an individual. So don't take a lender's money until you have a deal lined up. And don't accept it. Don't pull money between multiple investors where the money gets muddied. And that also goes with commingling funds. You don't want to use your business account with your personal business account, because then it gets harder to track and it looks suspicious to the IRS and other banking institutions as well. So don't do equity stakes in a deal. And Bill, you just enrolled in our education, so you are going to be getting a lot of this information in your classes. So look forward to that. And it's going to go into much, much more detail. And then don't tour a property with a lender or a spouse, because this one goes out to my good friend and partner, Bill Predabon. You don't want to bring in a lender on a tour with you. Hey, Scott. Because they're going to have all kinds of ideas, and they may not be educated like you are in investing. So they're going to be saying, and they're going to have all these ideas that you don't necessarily want to do or need to do for that particular property. So there's no need for them to even be involved. Just give me your money for the loan. I'm going to give you your interest, and that's where it stops. All right, so how to avoid foreclosure. Let me go into the nuts and bolts here, because I got to get going, and it's a Tuesday night. I'm sure you got other things to do besides watch me. So first, you know what? Let me ask you guys. Should I go in order from 1 to 8? Because I got 8 things here. Or should I go down to like 8 down to 1 and be like the David Letterman top 10 list? If you're watching this live, go ahead and vote 1 to start from 1 or 8 to start with 8. And I'm going to be here just waiting patiently with bated breath. David Letterman? Okay, I got 1 for counting down. All right, awesome. You know what? I'm going to count down. All right, so number 8. The number 8 option to stop or postpone or foreclosure. Short sale. You can short sale the property, which basically you're giving it back to the bank, and then the bank is going to take short of what is owed by the next buyer. You, as the owner of that current property, you're not going to get anything. So don't think that's a great way to get out of it. Other than if you have to, then it's better than foreclosure. But you don't want to short sale. You want to sell it to someone like me or Amy or George or Bill Bastati, who's up there in upstate New York, because we're investors. All right? So you can do a short sale, negotiate with the lender or the bank to take a discount on the loan with terms of no judgment on the owner for deficiency. And so the bank can't go back to the owner for that amount that's left. That's key. And that is very different from a discounted mortgage. You want to make it very clear you're doing a short sale and negotiate with a discount on the loan, but not a discounted mortgage. And you're exactly right, Amy. Only if the bank agrees to the short sale. Bingo. Yes. And Amy should know, because she does that like every day, all day long. And twice on Sundays. All right, number 7. You can do a subject to mortgage assignment. So you could talk to someone like me or George or Amy or Bill and do a subject to where we take over the mortgage subject to existing financing. And we're basically taking over the mortgage payments for you. And what that does for you is it protects your credit. And then you can get into another house that's more affordable while you get back on your feet. Number 6, you could just outright sell the property, which is another way of, you talk to me or Amy, an investor, and we will buy the property for cash. Or number 7, subject to. Oh, excuse me. You could also, number 5, you could do a deed in lieu of foreclosure. That's also covered in our classes. You could do the next one, number 4. I don't really recommend it, but if you have to absolutely positively do this, you could do this. You could file bankruptcy. And the lender has to petition the court for what's called a relief of stay. And this would be under Chapter 7 because you cannot file Chapter 13. And there's a lot more detail in the education, in the bankruptcy course that is taught. So, you could look up more information on that. Number 3, you can always renegotiate. If you took our negotiations course, it's part of our education, you would get very good at negotiations. There's also another book that I highly recommend, and I'm going through it now, and I'm doing a lot of notes in it. This one right here. Can you read it backwards? It says Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Chris Voss is a former hostage negotiator, and he taught a class in college to business people, and he goes over a lot of that stuff in his book. Pretty cool stuff. All right. Number 2. We're getting down to it. Redemption. Hey, Dave Jakewish. Punch that like button. Let me know you're here. Or if you're a lover, not a fighter, you can just flick the love button, Dave. All right, so you could always do redemption. Let's say you won the lottery, or you came into a large sum of money, whatever the case may be. You could pay it off in full, and then it's, all right, yeah, I'm done. Oh, what were you saying about foreclosure? Yeah, I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to redeem it. I'm going to pay it off in full. Yeah, that could happen. It's a possibility. Anything's possible. And the number 1 option for avoiding or postponing foreclosure is to reinstate the mortgage, which means bring the loan current. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I had Paul Schaefer and the amazing real estate investing education band here to play. Unfortunately, they're unavailable, and so you just got me. And I don't have any music playing in the background. But that's it. That is the 8 options you have to avoid foreclosure. Now, if you or you know someone who is going through foreclosure, I think you might have someone here that could help them out with that. This person right here. And if you want to learn more about how to help people out of a foreclosure or avoiding it altogether, or other real estate investing strategies, and you're tired of trying to figure it out all by yourself because it's lonely trying to figure it all out by yourself. Trust me, I know. I tried to figure it out myself a lot, and then I started listening to my mentors like Dave Jakewish. And I started listening and paying attention and actually learning and then applying. So if that's something that interests you and you want to learn more about, we can definitely have that conversation. Now, there is an entry fee for my awesome world of real estate investing. That's just the way it is, because my time is very limited. I'm not going to live forever. So, you want to be a part of this world, there is an entry fee. I'm not going to lie or sugarcoat it. However, that is secondary to the initial conversation that we need to have to determine if we even want to work together. Like, there's this guy, Cole Ingram. Hey, Cole. There's days where he's probably questioning about why he's working with me. It's like, where did I find this goofball? But it's okay, because, there's always one in a crowd. And so I got that slot. So if you want to learn more about investing in real estate and other financial literacy strategies, definitely reach out to me. We can have that conversation and see if it's a good fit. And then if you decide that it's a good fit and we both decide that, hey, it'd be kind of cool to work together and be a part of your world, then we can take the next step. But the first step is to reach out to me and let's have that conversation. And until next time, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, stay spicy.